And breaking news this hour, the battle over the deployment of federal troops to tackle local crime is in the courts. Just a short time ago, Illinois filed a lawsuit to stop President Trump from deploying National Guard troops there. The lawsuit, brought by both the city of Chicago and the state, said in part the American people should not live under the threat of occupation. Now, this comes after a Trump-appointed federal judge barred the administration from sending any federal troops to Portland, Oregon. Oregon's governor says the state has the rights to govern itself without federal intervention, insisting the city of Portland is safe.
There's no need for military intervention in Oregon. There's no insurrection in Portland. There's no threat to national security. Oregon is our home. It is not a military target. And Oregonians exercising their freedom of speech against unlawful actions by the Trump administration is their right and should be done so peacefully.
Let's turn now to CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. Jessica, good to see you today. Can you take us through the legal battles over federal troops on deployment?
Absolutely. It was a big weekend in Oregon, legally speaking. So at first, what happened, there was a challenge to the Trump administration's attempt to federalize the National Guard in Oregon, basically call up the Oregon National Guard and federalize them, just as the same thing happened in Los Angeles, in California, where the Trump administration federalized the California National Guard. A district court judge issued a temporary restraining order and said that looking at the statute that allows the president to federalize the National Guard, that the necessary prerequisites were not present. And so what she said is that the president lacked the authority to federalize the National Guard in Oregon. Now, what happens the next day? The president tries to move troops that were federalized in California to Oregon, in the judge's view, essentially circumventing and undermining her previous ruling. So then there's a very late night hearing last night. The judge issues another temporary restraining order saying not only can the administration not federalize the Oregon National Guard in Oregon, but they cannot move other federalized National Guard members into Oregon because that would undermine her ruling, and it would, she says, essentially collapse the meaning of that particular statute that the president's looking at to give him authority.
Okay, and Jessica, I also want to ask you about this because White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller posted on X earlier today. He said there is no legal distinction between a state volunteering guardsmen to guard the border and volunteering guardsmen to guard a federal immigration facility. Now, either we have a federal government, a supremacy clause, and a nation, or we don't. So, Jessica, what does Miller mean by that? And what does that mean for a similar legal fights that are going forward?
So I think this tees up what we're seeing, frankly, throughout the country and in different areas, which is this battle between the federal government and the state government. You know, very briefly, when it comes to the state National Guard, what we know is that there is a lot that they can basically volunteer to do, that they can do by consent, where the governor can say that the state National Guard should, for instance, help patrol the state border. When it comes to federal immigration facilities, that really is the province of the federal government. So legally speaking, I would offer there is a distinction, and you want to make sure that the state and the federal government are working in cooperation because there are certain rules with respect to the state not interfering with the federal government's ability to enforce immigration law. And there are certain rules dealing with what, even if those National Guard members are federalized, what they can do once they're on the ground.
Okay. Jessica Levinson, thank you so much for your insights today. We appreciate it.